Hey YouTube, it's update time.
What is going on? What did I do? Alright, so obviously this is the AMF. Had a little issue with it last time I rode it, which is why it's a big chunk of it's tore apart already. So what happened? I had one of my belt guides that I made in a hurry. It wasn't quite tight to the pulley. The belt came down and got all jammed up, and I had to take the pulley off to get to it. But I forgot I had to take the front bolt out to get the 10-inch front pulley off. And really this thing was too fast for what I really made it for. It was 10-inch pulley in the front, 9-inch in the rear. So I went and I got a 7-inch pulley to replace the bent 10-inch in the front and a bunch of belts. And that's why I got the rear end tore apart, because on this particular tractor, at least with 5/8 belt, you have to drop the rear end so that you can put belts on it. And the way I was doing it before, my belt guides come up into here. They're just bolts. I don't know. There you can see the wrenches on one. Here, see what they look like. You can see it right here. Basically just a bolt with some flat strap on it so that the belt can't fall down. That just goes right under the pulley, but the other side was down too far. And I wanted to add one back here, but yeah, you can see right now it's all nice and open. You can get right to the bolts, and here's the access so you can get the belt over top the pulley. But like I said, the 5/8 belt I was using before, I couldn't do that, so I got a 1/2 inch this time and hope it doesn't slip. But I was having to do all this through this hole from the bottom. I could stick my hand up in here. So what I did was I cut me a little access panel, since I had to get the rear fenders off anyways. So I will make a flange for this so it bolts back in at the top, and that way it keeps mud and crud and stuff out of up in here. Eventually, I have a couple little gearboxes. I'd like to figure out a way to put a PTO winch running off the pulley right there. I have a couple little gearboxes here, make me a spool, have it either coming out the back or the front, haven't decided yet. But yeah, that's the plans. We're not doing that this time. This time is strictly just get this thing working again, because it was really useful to have around the house to pull my little yard trailer and just kind of goof off on. Okay, so here we have the old pulley. You can see, let's see where it was bent. Over here, I was using the puller, bent it. You could use it, but it's not so much that this bent right here, but if you put it on a flat surface, it's got a wave to it, so it'd always be shaking the belt and being hard on that. Plus, I wanted to slow it down a bit anyways, so I cut the weld-in center out very carefully. Yeah, it looks chewed up, but there's still like enough good spots, like right there, and one over here, that the pulley will sit flat. So as long as I just weld it carefully, I'll get it together. So there you can see, should be a very significant decrease in speed. Should still be pretty quick. This is 7. The pulley on the rear is a 9. So I mean, it's just a little bit of a reduction compared to from the factory. Factory, these had the tractors with the 700s had about a 2 or 3 inch engine pulley, and they had a 9 or a 10-inch rear pulley. So should be roughly double that, somewhere in there. So get this welded and get it on the tractor. Well, got her welded. Just a couple little 4 little tack welds. Should be fine. Now I got to clean up the crank. That's why I had to use a puller. Put a little sandpaper on it and get that pulley where it's got a little bit more clearance. Last time I had to pound it on. So what we're doing here is this keyway. You know, where the bolt had come down and smashed it. It was a little bit out of square. You can see the mark there. So what I did is I put it in the vise and I cleaned it up just a little bit with the file, going real slow just to knock down the big high points. And now I'm fitting it into here. As you can see, it still has a little bit of resistance, which a little bit is perfect. Actually, I think that might be perfect right there. You want them to just smoothly slide in and out, but not have to pound in, because then you won't be able to get the pulley back off without a puller or a lot of messing around. So what I do is I take one of these piece of sandpaper, and then I just that there, roll it over, roll it over, roll it over till you get all 4 sides. I'd do it more, but this one's the right size, so now it just slides in there, nice and smooth. And I've already taken this sandpaper and sanded a little bit on the crank and kept fitting it with the pulley until the pulley was the same way. It goes on tight but smooth, like you can just push it up and it'll stay there, and then you can pull it right back off. And that's what you're going for. At least that's what I go for. So in this bag are 4 belts from Tractor Supply. I thought I would totally have one that was the right size in there. You know, you spend freaking almost $100 on belts. And guess what? Nope, not the right size, of course, because you can't ever just guess the right size, even if you buy a whole bunch. So what's on the tractor right now? If I can show you. That is an 89. I'm gonna need a 90. It fits, but the clutch doesn't work at all. So gonna have to go to a 90, possibly a 91. I'll probably take these back and swap them out for that. The other issue I want to take care of here real quick is this is not the factory clutch pedal. In my other video, I'd show you or tell you that I made this clutch pedal because it used to be over there. I've always done left foot clutch, so I didn't want to try to retrain myself. So added this clutch pedal, made it real quick, added some old scrap I had, just spin a little angle on it to help keep your foot. I need to add some traction stuff to this at some point, but for now, I noticed I've already straightened it with the wrench here. This was starting to twist where my foot was pushing on it, because I have a pretty stiff clutch spring on it. So it actually twisted this whole piece. So I twisted it back, and I'm going to add this piece onto it. I'm going to go clear down in. I have to cut that funky end off the bottom, and then I'll weld it, put a nice bead on it all the way around, and that should stiffen it up a lot. So we'll get this cut down. Well, there's the finished product. Real happy with it. Welds came out real nice, which is unusual. Usually if I'm welding on something you'll never see, it turns out perfect, and if I'm welding on something like this, it's very out in the open and you're going to look at it, then they turn out like crap. But those, yeah, turned out pretty good. So I got the tractor jacked up so you can see what I'm doing. The belt, because it has a smaller pulley, was getting real close to this, so what I did was I just cut a piece of flat strap, put the same bolt holes in it, welded it on this side. See, this used to sit clear over here and it's touching the belt just like my finger is, so I just welded this on. That way I could use the original bolt holes in the chassis and then scoot this over just enough, and all this is just frame support, so it's not going to hurt anything. The other issue is down here. I told you I'd show you guys my clutch setup at some point. So like I said before, clutch used to be over here. It was just a single pulley, not really all that good a clutch. And then, so what I did is I made this one myself, and you saw the pedal is right there. So it comes down and around, goes down, and then it goes into this turnbuckle, just like this here. And then this gets bolted into there, and this runs the clutch over here. A pretty complicated setup, but it works pretty good. Actually works real good, especially being double pulley. None of this was factory. I had to do it all. If I was running this as a solid rod, I could have ran some sort of lever on here and welded that onto that, which who knows, maybe that would have been a better idea, but I was, at the time, this is what I had in my head, so I made it work, and it, like I said, it works good. But now, when you tighten the belt up, when you tighten it, you can see it's touching on there a little bit. So what I'm going to do is come in here and drill right beside here so I can scoot this over. Sorry about that light, guys. So I can scoot this over just a little bit, and then I'll just shorten up this rod and we'll be good to go. It's got it shortened up. I just cut a little bit off this one, and then I put this in the other side, put everything where it needed to be, made a little mark, took it off, put it on the drill press, drilled it out, put it all back together. Just a quick thing I'll point out, I basically, to make these, I drill through them 3/8, and this is a 3/8 bolt, and then I slide the bolt,
put a nut all the way tight on the bolt and cut the head of the bolt off. I don't know if you can see it. And then I slide it through till I have the clearance I want, and then weld it really good on that side. And then I can tighten this bolt all the way down, and I still have just a little bit of slop so that it doesn't actually tighten up, but it's nice and doesn't have a bunch of, doesn't stop rattles, but cuts down on them anyways. So that's clutch in, push the clutch down, in, down. All right, we'll got to hook the clutch spring back up, put this rod back through and all of its pegs, hook this belt guide back up. May have to modify it, I don't know. We'll see how good it works first. And then I have to put these belt guides back in place. There's another one over here that needs shortened to put it in place, and then I got to make one for the back, and then this thing should be back to running and driving. Well, we got the clutch spring back on, got her all back together.
Took it on just a little test ride, did real good. I'm gonna take you on a little ride with me. All right.
I love it. It's a lot more useful now. I'll try to get a video trail riding it maybe sometime in the future. Until then, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Creep Crawler out.